Okay, Jared, this is part 2 after lunch.
Is it on right now?
Yeah.
Hi, Jared. We just had lunch.
We don't buy the box before they didn't put cheese in it.
But it sounded like a cat.
Okay, so what I want you to do, Jake, put the ball up.
Yes, ma'am.
Is on the coordination of Napoleon here, we want to focus, obviously, I apologize that I don't have the large, you can see how big this painting actually is, I don't know what happened. But every character that's in it, he really focused on them, he put all their details in it. It's a very, very large painting with lots of people, and everybody, you can tell, he's really paying attention to each person.
Where's those girls at? Up top?
Yeah, they're back here, back over here, over this way. Okay. Now, this is Josephine here, and this is before Napoleon. This is Napoleon here. And the Pope, then, is back here behind him. And what he has done is take the crown away from the Pope, and he's going to crown himself. And he's will crown Josephine also. And see, you know the story that Napoleon took the crown from the Pope because he wouldn't have that power struggle that we've discussed before. That, this means who's more powerful, and he wasn't going to have that power struggle. So he just took the crown and crowned himself. And this is depicting that. And look at all the detail in each one of the characters, each one of their clothing and stuff. It's just extraordinary.
So is Napoleon the one picked down? No,
Yeah, he's a girl. Napoleon's really a girl. Like, crap to do it.
No, Napoleon's this one right here.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
Okay. Now, there were actually supposed to be 7 of these paintings that Napoleon wanted the V to do and sprinkle them around his empire. Because remember, he has an empire, it's not just France. And Napoleon, made a very large empire. These paintings are so large and they're so full of detail, and the V does have other work he's doing. He actually only got finished with 2 of them. So there actually are 2 originals by Da Vinci in the world today. This one is at the Louvre. The other one is at Versailles. So if you go to Versailles, you'll see the other one, which was the second one made. Now, when I came into the room where this is in the Louvre, it is so large, and you can't even see the whole painting in this picture. But I had to wait for a really long time for people to get out of the front of it, because this was in a narrow hallway. And then there's this little seat that's in between in the middle, and then I had to wait a long time. I'm very patient to get my pictures and things when I'm in museums. A lot of people have asked me before if there's really steps behind me when they look at my actual pictures. I'm like, no, that is me.
I think I can.
Yeah, I'm just going to start answering that. Yes, those are really steps to lead up to Napoleon.
He's a wax figure. It was a wax figure museum.
There's a wax
museum.
Yeah. It did take me a long time to get that shot, though, because of all the people in the room. So, it's really, really big, though, so you can't even see the end of it down here to the left.
How long would it take to even paint it?
A long time for something like that, a very, very long time. That's why he only got 2 done. Napoleon wanted 7. He only got 2 of them done. But remember, he's doing other things too. He's being commissioned to do other works also. So, artists, particularly like Da Vinci, are busy. They're really busy. They have a lot of stuff that they're doing. They usually don't get everything done they're supposed to do.
I would get bored if we worked on one thing for that long.
All right. Now, here's another Da Vinci work.
That was awesome.
How do you pronounce that?
Napoleon crossing the Alps. Oh, okay. The Kunsthistorisches.
Is that German?
Museums. I think it's German or maybe Russian. I've forgotten now which city it's in.
Kunsthistorisches. I got it right on that.
What do you mean write all that? It's 3 things. Actually, it's only 2 things. You already have the title. You're writing down the author and where it's at.
I'm just gonna write David. Kunsthistories and.
It's like you're like, let's see how many letters we could get in this one word.
Mm-hmm.
It almost has history in the middle of it.
Yes.
That probably means like
Yes.
The faster you say it.
Now, this painting is also done in more than one way.
Again.
You'll find his slightly different things. The horse is a different color sometimes. Just a little bit of differences, and I think one of the close-ups I'm getting ready to show you is a different painting. But Napoleon Crossed the Alps is one of the David's most famous paintings. I love this one. I just love the defiance and the way Napoleon's looking. Onward man, he's pushing his men onward. Crossing the Alps, this is the part where no one crossed the Alps with an army, right? This in history, this is something that can't be done. Can't do it. Okay, and yet there were a couple of men in history who actually did take an army across.
Did Hannibal do it too?
Hannibal did it too, and look at this. Hannibal's name is right down here on the rocks.
Oh, cool.
Right
Oh,
down here
and
on the
there's
rocks.
Bonaparte.
And there's Bonaparte, and then this one other man in history, and I can't remember who it was, so don't be mad at me right now. But his name is here also.
For
You
real.
are supposed to know.
For real.
For real, I'm sorry, I'll look it up.
So
Crap.
what's the
I'm
real
about to
color
turn it
horse?
a
Like,
thermometer.
what's the real one look like?
I don't know. I think Napoleon actually rode a white horse, if I remember correctly.
That is what.
So where do all these different colors come from?
He just liked them. Why not? Try it.
It's shadows.
And I like it. I mean, why do girls change their hair color? Nobody
You
knows.
just said that there's a bunch with different colored horses.
Yeah.
Like it.
Are they all painted by David?
I think there's 4. Yeah, they're all David. They're all David, and he has 4 different versions of this. The one we're getting ready to look at
I
is
just
one.
didn't know that
If we
he
look at the cuffs here, like this hand has a glove on it, this one's not. So we're going to look a little bit closer at the face here. This one is different than the one we just looked at. Let me go back real quick and look at the way
The
this
cape
glove
is
is
different
painted.
colors.
Okay. It does have glove, but you can see the differences. See, this glove has gold on it. The glove we just looked at does not have gold on it.
That cape's orange. This cape is red.
See, different. This does not have that.
Lions.
And the cape things.
And
Acknowledge me.
okay, I see you. I hear you. I know you live. There it is. Onward, people, across the Alps. Which he was successful. He did take his army across the Alps.
Woohoo!
What page is that on our picture
On
packet?
the
Picture packet.
3.
3. 3.
Oh, I already knew the name of that one. So
Information.
Those are so far the other kind of part.
And there's Napoleon
Tricia is-
study.
It takes fingers to make
Okay.
Pointing over here.
This is Napoleon in his study,
Washington, D.C.
and this one is in America. I have seen it in the National Gallery in Washington, D.C., part of Smithsonian.
You want to know whose name I'm part of writing?
Who? Napoleon?
Along of this one.
JLD?
That's it.
JLD.
He's right, David.
David. Yeah. This is Napoleon's most famous gesture with his hand inside his vest pocket like this. If you're playing charades and you draw Napoleon, if you just do that, most people guess it.
No. I can't. I would have thought you were no good at playing with your belly button.
That's it. So that is Napoleon.
Looks like a gay.
A gay. I don't even understand that statement, but
He's a
okay.
gay.
A gay.
What a cliche name.
Looks like N gay. Is that better? N?
No,
No.
not better. Not better at all.
I know you're trying to say Ben Gay, but
That's like, I don't think they had this stuff in Europe.
Yeah. And it is truly magnificent. I love this painting. When I was in the National Gallery, I've been in the National Gallery twice now. And the first time I saw it, the second time I went in there, and I thought I was in the right room. I was like, this work's right there on that wall on my right. I was kind of walking around. I was kind of walking around. I kept looking for it, and I couldn't find him. And I was like, where's Napoleon? He's supposed to be in here in the room.
He's
And
so short.
I finally went up to a guard, and I was like, where's Napoleon? And he's like, oh, he's down for restoration. So I was right, exactly where I was looking for him. He said, yeah, that's where he's supposed to be. But he had been taken down for restoration. So, like, dadgummit. I mean, how many more times do you think I'm going to be at DC? You know? Oh my God. Anyway, okay. So there he is. Napoleon.
That's the only one I've seen.
Hey,
Moving along.
let me use this.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, now we're going to move on to Raphael. We're going to get into the big three, as I like to call them. Yeah, the big three Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Are we really that far? No way.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for a while.
It doesn't feel, I don't know.
Bring it on.
Okay.
Alcohol.
No. I gotta quit smoking tobacco or quit smoking
Smoking
alcohol.
alcohol.
I don't even know what I do. Alright, we are. That's Raphael, and this painting is in your packet. It's not just what he looked like, but it is in your packet also.
How do you say his
That's
last name?
Raphael Sanzio.
This is the first time I've ever heard his last name.
I'm gonna say
Sanzio.
Yeah, I know.
Snazio.
Do you not hear his last name?
That's a
Second page of the info packet. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Sanzio.
Do we have to know his last name?
Well, you know, you might want to know it. The big three I use Documatic, you use them first time.
Will this be the last test we'll have before the end of the year, or?
Your final, yeah.
Well, I know
What's
that,
our fun?
like,
Why can't this just be our fun?
Well, it's not. I mean, this is worth a lot of points, but it's not your final.
Are we gonna get points for Mesopotamia?
WrestleTamia.
Is it WrestleTamia or
Yes,
Mesopotamia?
it's written on the board. WrestleTamia.
There is a Mesopotamia.
I swear, Zach Brooks was like, no, you're dumb. You're so dumb. Why'd you say WrestleTamia? It's Mesopotamia. You're dumb.
Because one of the cultures is Mesopotamia. That's why it's called WrestleTamia.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you want Mesopotamia? How about we just don't listen to that?
Okay. So Raphael was one of the great artists of the time, and this is one of the big three. I call them that because the big three lived at the same time. They knew each other. They were aware of each other.
And had
they
Ninja
didn't
Turtles.
like each other.
They fight.
They did fight, yeah. They didn't hook it up like literally, but they did argue with each other. I would say probably the most docile of all three of them, and we're talking about Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Raphael, would be Raphael, because he was the youngest of all three, and so to him, he's looking up to Michelangelo and Leonardo, and he's trying to learn from them artistically, while he might not appreciate a lot of Michelangelo's personal behavior at all, because they worked in the same rooms together, and Michelangelo was mean to him, and he probably deserved it. Okay,
Were they
I would say.
swapping brothers and had turtles?
No, absolutely not. Not at all. Also, Raphael lived a very different lifestyle than Michelangelo, and Michelangelo did not appreciate that at all. Okay, Raphael dressed in the fashion of the day. He had a posse with him everywhere he went, a gaggle of girls and boys. And, you know, Mike didn't appreciate any of that stuff. Mike was nothing but his art. Nothing.
no women?
Nothing but his art. Who has time for women? What's that? I mean, you know,
Well,
except
art's
for
so good.
women bring me food if I need it. Well, you know, that's it.
Damn right.
He had time for nothing else. No.
Okay, rolling.
That's all. You know, the only other thing that Michelangelo had time for was religion, and that's mostly about religion. Was he argued with the Pope? You know, which sometimes resulted in possible fist fights with the Pope.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, possibly they actually hooked it up once. I don't know, I wasn't in the room, but there is talk, okay? But I will say this, Mike was so religious that I do find that a little bit difficult to believe, because although he and Julius fought all the time, the Pope's name was Julius II at the time, they fought literally all the time. he was so devoutly religious that this is his pope, and he would have respected that. So I kind of find it hard to believe that he would take his fisticuffs with him, you know. But that's yeah,
They did it in the closet.
that's how they hooked it up. They were really, really at each other's throat. Okay, but the deal with Raphael, because that's who we got on the board here, the man was a great upcoming talent, very, very good. And he's going to steal ideas and techniques and stuff from Michelangelo, who's working at the Vatican at the same time. He never worked around Da Vinci, that I can remember, but they were all alive at the same time and were aware of each other. Okay, so you got the big three alive at the same time. What a great time to have been alive. You're going to go back to the time period and see something? I'm going to pick that one. I'm going to pick that one when they're all three alive at the same time. Wow. Wow. Okay, so that's what Raphael looked like, young and sweet. Isn't he sweet? Okay. This is Castiglione. Castiglione. I always say Castiglione, but probably Castiglione is how it's pronounced.
Castiglione.
Raphael painted Castiglione. Castiglione was an author. If you were cool in this time, in the Renaissance time, you wanted to be cool like Castiglione, you read his book. He wrote a book called The Book of Courtier, which is telling you how to live, telling men, young men, what to do. And if you want to be cool like Castiglione, you read the book. This painting can be found in the Louvre. La Louvre.
Where's that at?
In Paris. Largest museum in the world. You can spend days going through it. The 2 times that I've been there, I not only go there on the time that we have scheduled in our tour, but my free day, I've always spent time at the Louvre on my free day.
You ever been chased out of there?
Yeah.
More than once?
Yeah, I didn't chase around it, but it's so damn big they can't find me. So, you know.
Did you get lost?
That's right.
Very
If
much.
she
I
got
know.
lost, I think she'd be happy.
I know how to run and hide, so they never chase me out. I've never been chased out of the Louvre. I've been chased around in it.
How many times?
Twice.
Do they have a wanted poster?
There are wanted posters of me. I'm on film doing illegal acts in the Louvre.
Licking things.
Yes.
Touching them.
That's right. And the Louvre is where I licked the Code of Hammurabi.
This is gonna be on YouTube. You just told them.
I know.
Why
I
did
know.
you lick the Code of Hammurabi?
Because I could.
Well, it's
Who's gonna
under
stop me?
Miss Martin's name. But anybody, they're going to blame Miss Martin.
Right. Who's gonna stop me? Right.
Yes.
Who's big enough to stop me?
No,
Actually,
yeah.
you know, like I told you about that time, that was the scariest time for me because it was after 9/11, and I really did think that it was pressurized. I honestly thought that, you know, the bars were gonna fall from the heavens, and you know, woo, 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 and shit was gonna happen. But I was scared. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was some scary stuff. Because the first time that I was there, and I just sat next to it, you know,
Like a good kid.
like a good little kid. Nobody could see that I was rubbing it to the side. But, you know, I was just sitting next to it. I was sitting next to it. So I was feeling it, but I got a picture of me. I was actually just sitting next to it. And then the next time I came was after 9/11, and now the platform that had been was extended. And a gnome gate. You know, I love the gnome gates. You know, what the hell is that? But anyway, the gnome gate was there, and there was this weird stuff up here, but it looked like it was pressurized. Like if I stepped over the gnome gate and onto that, you know, jail time. Okay, and I was like, whoa, crap.
Good
So,
to do it anyways.
Yeah, I scoped it, totally scoped it out. Had to wait on the 2 guards with machine guns to leave the room. Bad. Machine guns are bad.
Why did they leave the room?
Well, because they have a whole area that they monitor. So they had been walking through this hall that had.
You think that they have a guard for
Yeah,
every
definitely
room?
have one.
Well, they're talking. There's 2 of them. They're talking to each other in French, you know. So they're talking, and I'm scoping it out, and I'm looking. I am really, really concerned. I really do think that's what's going to happen. But as soon as those guys headed to the right down the other hallway and gave me a moment without guards in the room, I didn't care about all the other people in the room. And so
Did you actually lick it with other people in the room?
Yeah. And this guy, which, you know, you're not always sure you're going to hear English when you're in France, right? So I just went. I was just like, okay, I'm doing it. Here we go. So I just jumped up over it, licked it, bounced back down. I mean, it was that fast. You know, it had to, whatever's coming out of the center was going to have to be fast because I'm going. Okay? So I was done. I was golf, and I was like, yes, score. You know, it was awesome. And this guy on the backside, he goes, so is that like supposed to bring you good luck or what? It was so funny.
You should have been like, yeah.
Yeah.
Dare you to do it.
That's right, yeah.
Boom.
No, yeah. It was awesome though. That was really, really good. But I was scared to death. I really did think that I was going to jail. But I didn't.
I'd be afraid one would be like, guard.
Yeah, really, and what? What's the guard want? What? I'd already be out of the room actually. I would not even have stayed in the room. I would run. I've learned to run a lot in foreign countries.
What would happen if it actually caught you?
What are you gonna do? I'd be like, dude, what? Nobody's ever caught me. I don't even know what I would say because I've never been caught in any situation.
Like, would they actually throw you in jail for licking a statue?
How can they throw me in jail? I just licked it.
That's what I thought. But I mean, you're running from it, so clearly you think something's gonna happen.
Well, I know, but I would have to, try to plead my case. I yelled, no, all this, that's when y'all and run. I mean, that's worked for me so far. I'm gonna keep it up.
French.
That's right.
They're probably like,
What? You're like, what? I didn't have to do that time, though. I didn't have to do it that time.
well, we just need to teach you French.
No, I don't want to know French. Okay, see that you're missing the point.
We're just
Doesn't
gonna
matter
teach
if I
you
can
French,
actually speak the language.
Off against their time for that.
Right. See, they're like, what? For that moment when they're freaked out, I've got 4 more steps on them. Okay, that's what it's all about. All right, Julius, this is the Pope I was telling you about. Okay, this is the Pope during the High Renaissance. This is Mike's Pope. This is Leonardo's Pope. This is Raphael's
An
Pope.
old man.
Huh?
He beat up an old man.
Well, see, that's what I'm telling you. I'm not really sure that story is correct because, all popes are older, right? I mean, aren't they? You never make somebody a pope that's
You
just
never see a
40.
pope that doesn't look under 70.
Right, this is true.
Makes no sense. Good guy.
This is true. But Julius was a butthole. Don't let this grandpa beard fool you. He was a butthole, okay? And don't let it fool you either. Grandpa with the beard. No, okay. Thanks, Rosie. I appreciate that. Matt's on YouTube. Appreciate that. Okay. We love the Catholic Church, by the way. Appreciate that. Well, all y'all to know that.
I'm pretty sure Miss Beard is that close. There's
What?
issues you need
What
to
is
work
it?
out.
Shut the doors and I thought this.
Something happened there. So, but Julius was a butthole, he really was. He was a far better military strategist than a pope. And you remember, this is the time of the church when the church has armies. Does that not seem weird to you today? The Catholic Church has armies and they use them? I mean, to us, today that seems a little weird, right? But they're
Sounds like a bad idea.
All right, anyway, yeah. Let us not say things like that. Anyway. So, he was really good with his military strategy and with the army and stuff, but maybe not the best pope in the world. And certainly, as far as his relationship with some of the artists that he dealt with, he didn't have the best relationship. But we'll get to that a little bit later with Michelangelo. But there he is. Luscious red tape. Is that not gorgeous? Look at the colors.
Freaking Santa Claus.
It's great stuff. Well, he's the pope. They wear red.
Santa Claus and Santa Claus.
Look at that! Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
we have Venus in my bathroom.
You recognize those little cherubs?
No.
Shut up.
I always thought they were just some random naked babies.
I used to have that in my house.
Oh, aren't they so sweet? Look at them.
No, they're red.
No, they're probably
Clearly
evil.
demon
Guess
children.
what? They are just a small part of a much larger painting that's called the Sistine Madonna.
Yeah, y'all just let out loud for your tape.
Isn't that wonderful?
How do you pronounce that?
The Sistine Madonna?
Miss
Oh,
Hanks.
oh, okay.
She's gonna kill you.
Oh my God.
Why do I keep saying that? Okay.
Lay off.
I was trying to say museum and the word wasn't
The
coming.
Scott Leach. Scott Leach.
pronouncing's right. So when I go to these countries and go to their
We don't tell
museums
you.
and I pronounce it wrong, everybody's gonna laugh at me.
Well, you might say, okay, is it a stoplight? It's one of the two, right?
Where is this?
That's when you just like take out a
It's
piece
on the
of
very
paper and
first
point
one.
at it and be like, where is this?
It's on the very first page of your picture photo packet, Jared.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And this is Pope Sistus right here. This is why we have a Sistine Chapel after Pope Sistus, because he's the one that had it built. And this is the Sistine Madonna because Pope Sistus is there with the Madonna. And what is Madonna? And don't you dare say a pop singer.
Is that where she got her name?
Well, that's her parents named her Madonna because they're Catholic. So what is Madonna?
A singer.
Pop singer.
I told you not to say it!
I
You
didn't
say
say it, I said
saint?
it.
She's something to do with the Catholic Church.
She's like a virgin.
She is like Virgin. That's very good. Follow that line. Who is it? Thank you. It is the Virgin Mary. Madonna is the Virgin Mary. That's right.
Oh.
No. All right. So when you
That
see
last guy, St. Julius or Julius, Pope Julius, he's not in our picture back in.
Yeah.
Pope Julius II is on the first
Where the
page.
crap is he?
You said where the track
On page 9.
Julius was on page 9. There we go. Okay. So here we go. The detail of the angels here in the front are the most famous in the world. You'll find them everywhere. They're on T-shirts. They're on bed sheets. They're on wallpaper. They're framed over there on my wall. I've seen them on umbrellas.
Those are some pretty famous snake babies.
Gosh, where are they? Everywhere, right? They're
I
just
have
everywhere.
my parents used to have a puzzle of them.
Puzzles. There you go. Everything. You come up with it, I'm sure that there has been some sort of product that has been made with those angels on them. Yeah, they're the most famous in the world. But the thing is, most people have no idea that they're just a small detail of a much larger painting. Most people
Well, I know that.
no idea.
Why are
I've
their
seen
wings
them.
black?
But they have no idea.
These are red-headed evil children.
Are they supposed to represent hell?
No, they're just angels. They don't represent anything.
They must be the redheaded stepchild that everybody always talks about.
Alright, now this is the Transfiguration, and this is once again Raphael. It is at the Vatican. And this is a painting Raphael did not finish before he died at a very young age, his early 30s.
Did you die by natural causes?
He got sick. He got sick, and then he had a very high fever, was in his deathbed, and actually asked for this painting to be placed over his deathbed while he was sick. And they brought this painting and placed it over his bed, and he died. Very sad. Very sad story
So it's
because
not even finished.
it wasn't finished at the time. It is finished now. It is finished now.
So who finished it?
Well, someone else.
Can't tell you. Never died.
We'll talk about that in just a minute. But what I wanted to say was that, there was much lamenting. Can you imagine the scene? Raphael, is sick, and the doctors have come in, and they can't do anything to save him, and he's brought the painting in, So you've got this big death scene, right? How fantastic is that? And the world is going to lose one of the greatest artists it has ever known. The potential this young man has for us, and he's so young, what he could have left us. Wow. Let's talk about the scene here, Transfiguration. What is that? What is Transfiguration? What's happening?
Jesus.
Well, Jesus what?
Jesus is coming back to life.
We're going to Jesus.
Everybody's making
He's
their
going
way
to heaven.
Jesus
Okay.
is coming.
That's exactly what's happening, Jack. Thank you. Jesus is rising full body to heaven. Okay? You know the story in the Bible, where after 3 days he rises again, and then he's here for a little while, and then full body he rises up to heaven. Do you remember this story from the Bible?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the transfiguration of Christ to heaven. This is that moment that's being captured here. That's what Raphael's trying to show us. So how ironic that that is what he wanted to be placed over his deathbed, right? the painting he hasn't finished yet, but he understands obviously the meaning. He is the artist. Now, there's one particular character down here at the bottom that was not painted by him, and it is very different than the rest. So you can tell it is not his style. Which one do you
The one
think it
that's
is?
like.
Which one do you think it is?
The one in the
left,
blue.
left blue and brown. That dude.
This him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the
The
one
white
on the
one.
right in the blue. The blue. It's
This?
like.
This right here?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a girl.
This
Is
girl
that
here?
right there?
Yeah.
Okay. You think it's Jesus? Okay. Anybody else want to pick one?
No,
Go
that's it.
for
Good.
it.
The left and right.
You already picked.
I don't know.
Wait, got it.
This man in green here? Okay. Okay. It is the young boy, disturbed looking
Yes,
boy
I'm
here.
such a good guesser.
Okay. And if you look really closely at him, he is definitely different. The muscle tone and things like that, very different than the other figures around
The
him.
arm just looked funny to me, so that's why I chose it.
Raphael had a very soft way of painting. It's just kind of the way he was. And this character just sticks out very, very differently than the others. I may have it
Oh
on
no, and
the-
then like there's a man pointing at it.
Yeah,
and
there he
everything. Ew, it's like possessed.
He's ripped.
He's so possessed.
Yeah, he has nice muscle too.
Steroids. He ain't taking them alone. Look at those eyes. He's possessed.
very different than the others, huh?
Ooh, you can even see people hiding like in the background.
Yeah.
Shadows. That's
Way back there in the shadows. Yeah. Pretty cool. Oh, it's amazing. And you know, inside St. Peter's Basilica, which is that's the biggest church at Vatican City. They actually they're known for their mosaic work. The monks that work there. There are artists that work there, and they do mosaic pieces. They've actually done this in mosaic. You know what I'm talking about with mosaic? You know what mosaics are?
Yeah, little tiles.
Tiles.
Tiny tiles. And I'm going to tell you something. You can't tell that it's mosaic. You have to really get up close. Because I didn't know it was. I thought it was the actual painting the first time I was at St. Peter's. So I'm like taking pictures of it. And then I'm like, hey, wait a minute. And I got closer. I'm like, oh my God. It looks exactly like that. And they're so tiny. It's fantastic. They're known there. They're famous there for their mosaic work. And it's just unbelievable. But the original is inside the museum. And I missed that one. I was like, oh well. Oh well.
Close enough.
I know, I got close enough. And there's Jesus, sweet little Jesus.
It's got funny looking toes.
His face is a little weird.
Monkey toes.
I don't know if it's the white feel. He just looks rather white. I didn't imagine Jesus being that white, but
White?
White.
Oh,
He looks like he's got huge hips. He looks
No,
like he's
it's
got some
the
floaty
wind.
going around his
birthing
belly.
it.
The wind
He's got
blowing.
baby bear hips.
No, he has a tube around his belly.
Yeah.
One of those floating tubes.
That's right. It's got helium in it. Taking
Got
him
it.
up
Eat
that
that kind of Jesus, Risa.
It
God. Alright,
Oh,
let's
Jesus,
go back.
okay, we said Jesus' problem with that.
This is my favorite Raphael piece. It would be difficult for me not to save the School of Athens. You guys were talking about what would you save? It would
No,
be
it
tough.
burned.
It'd be really tough for me not to grab that or a Botticelli piece. So I don't know what I would grab.
Wait.
It burned.
I don't know.
It did
Have
burn.
you've seen this one? I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
Where's that in our
This
info
is one of
packet?
the big
It's
ones,
the
right?
very, very back.
It's a great big one on the back. You got a lot of stuff you're going to have to mark. You're actually going to be writing on this, but I would suggest pencil probably if you have it. In case you make a mistake and circle somebody's head wrong. Alright,
You're such a dork.
Raphael's 4 themes that he was trying to cover in painting this piece was philosophy, theology, poetry, and law. The name of the piece is called The School of Athens. So we're going to be seeing the great Greek thinkers. Okay, it's going to be ancient Greeks that he's trying to bring forward to us. He painted this in the private papal chambers, at the Vatican. Now today, these are not the private papal chambers anymore. Huh? What is wrong with you? Okay. They're not the private papal chambers anymore. He has, the Pope's chambers are in another part of the Vatican
The
now.
Pope's chambers should be called the Popal chambers, not the papal.
Well, it's papal. Yes. It's papal chambers. But he painted this on one big wall in the papal chambers, and it is absolutely magnificent. Okay, so it's a wall like that size over there. Okay, you come in the door right here. You walk in the door here, and it is on this wall. So a door takes up a little spot of the wall. Okay. All right. So 4 things. And what Raphael wanted to do, there's no way we can get through this. I'm going to have to stop to give it time to say, but we'll just look at it. See, here's the door right there.
Kylie's gonna be so upset she just saw this.
What Raphael wanted to do was not only pay homage to the great Greek thinkers, but also to people in the Renaissance. People he appreciated and admired in the Renaissance time. So some of these people actually have the faces of Renaissance people, but they're standing for somebody else also of Greek time. So we're going to learn every character in the painting. We're not going to do that, but we're going to learn many of them, and some of them have double meanings, and you'll have to know both meanings. This is going to be a tough piece, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop here for today. Yeah, there's no way I can go ahead and start.
Okay,
And
Kylie will
I'm going
be
to stop
mad.
here for today and say this, so next time, Jared, this is where it gets tough. Okay?
And we're gonna have to do all this for
Oh,
You're
yeah.
gonna have to circle it
Look
on
at that.
the board for him.
I know, I will.
Okay, thanks, my go, Asher.
Yeah.
Bye, Jared. Bye,
Bye,
buddy.
Jared.
Bye.